New FromSoft game is a Switch 2 exclusive.
Alright, so Nintendo Direct 2 just happened a few days ago. And let the name Silksong be praised, because we didn't get a release date, but we got a release year, which is this year, and that's pretty big. And now, despite the fact that the new Soulsborne, basically Bloodborne 2, is going to be a Nintendo exclusive, there's a bigger matter at hand.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
So I saw this there was a link to this article from Reddit, which I was browsing for some PC parts, but that's totally irrelevant. The point is that Nintendo's trying to do something crazy as fuck by fucking upping the price on their games, and if this succeeds, other companies will follow suit, like Ubisoft and EA and all these other shit companies that half-ass their games, and I don't think that's something we should let slide. It's almost not surprising either that they're trying to pull something like this, because there have been so many cases of Nintendo just not giving a single fuck about their players or like the game or like the games they play either. Like, take for example the Smash community. There are so many tournaments that they've shut down because I don't know, they just didn't like people playing their games, I guess. They never really gave an explanation to why they shut these tournaments down. But I'm not too interested in like tournaments and stuff, so I don't know much. But I do know that there are some butt sniffers and toe lickers that absolutely suck Nintendo's dick so hard they drain their balls. It's crazy, because I know there's some out there that snitch on other tournaments and they get them shut down because, I don't know, they're just really shitty people, I guess. But anyways, the way that this was found out was because of a Twitter post from some guy in Europe talking about the markup price for the new Mario Kart game. And people saw this and looked into it a bit more, and if you look onto their official webpage, Nintendo's official webpage for the Mario Kart game, you have to kind of scroll down a bit, torture yourself a bit before you get to the good stuff. And then you could see that the MSRP for the game is 80 doubloons, which is, obviously took the world by storm, because no one likes this. No one likes storms, unless we're talking about Storm from the MCU. But since we're clearly not, no one's liking this. But I'm sure there's gonna be people out there that buy this shit anyways, because people are stupid. Now, Nintendo is known for being the Hideki Kamiya of just acting really poorly towards consumers, aka us, because the way the Switch worked, oh man, that was bad. I remember playing Breath of the Wild. That was like the first Legend of Zelda game I played, and man, was that game breathtaking. Is what I would say if it wasn't for the fact that the handheld quality was so bad. The frames sucked so much dick. This is going to be the part where I also praise the Switch 2 for the system upgrade. And I'm still going to shit on it though, of course. Now, the announcement of the Switch 2 and its specs that have been upgraded deserves a very well-earned round of applause. And with that out of the way, for those of you that haven't watched the Nintendo Direct, let's quickly go over what they upgraded. As you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, the Switch 2 has a 1.2-inch increase instead of 720p, we have the usual and good old reliable 1080p with 120 Hz. Good stuff, Nintendo. And here we have a massive increase in storage. 250 gigabytes compared to the 32 gigabytes we got on the regular Switch. My god. And next, the biggest improvement that I think is the biggest W they have is the video output. The regular Switch only had a 1080p output. Now, the new one has up to 4K with 60 FPS. And that's what I'm talking about, Nintendo. That's some good shit right there. But that's not all, people. All this and more could be yours and can be held in your own hands for the low price of $450. Jesus fucking Christ. Now, my reaction to that price might be seen as a bit over dramatic, but what I'm about to say next will justify that reaction and hopefully will open your eyes a bit. Now, for those of you that haven't watched the Nintendo Direct or just don't give a fuck about Nintendo, I'm gonna give you a reason to. Two very good reasons to give a fuck about Nintendo. I mean, the whole reason why you're watching this video is probably a reason enough. Basically, the tutorial to learn how the Switch 2 works, you gotta pay for that. I don't know how much. They didn't really disclose that. They just said, hey, you wanna learn how to use our new system? You're gonna have to pay for it. Money up front, bucko. Come on, cough it over. And let's say you want to play Smash Bros. Or Breath of the Wild on the newly improved specs that they have on the Switch 2. You're gonna have to fork over $10, which isn't that bad, considering that you don't have to pay full price for the game again, like you do for most systems. But I mean, you have Xbox that basically has that shit for free with backwards compatible games, and if you have Game Pass, you basically get like almost every backwards compatible game like for free. PS5 has also had this kind of situation where there are some titles, not all, but there are some titles out there that you had to cough over a few extra bucks to upgrade it from PS4 version to a PS5 version. So again, not paying full price, but still kind of bogus that you have to pay anyways. But anyways, the main point for this video is just we can't let this slide. The fact that Nintendo wants to increase the market price of high quality, quote unquote, high quality video games is going to be a really, really bad change for us gamers. So that's not something I want to see happen. That's not something I don't think you guys want to see happen. And I also forgot to mention this other thing. Nintendo rarely gives out deals for the Switch exclusive games. I've had a Switch for like a year. I have not seen a good deal for like one of their big Switch games like Mario Party, Smash Bros, Legends of Zelda, which is the one game I had and kind of the one game I played, and Mario Odyssey and all these other great games that they have. They very rarely went on sale, and if they did, it wasn't cut by much. The deal was not what you would consider a deal. And of course, there's going to be people that will just dick ride and be the yes men to Nintendo. Be like, oh guys, it's not really that bad. Come on, just spend that $450 and then pay the $80 and $90 for the digital or physical. Like, come on, it's not that bad, guys. Like, what are you talking about? It's horrible. Cause imagine Ubisoft does this shit, man. Recently, they released Assassin's Creed Shadows, and to each their own. I'm not a big RPG guy. I think it looks pretty okay. I wouldn't buy it personally, but I don't blame people that do. But I'm not trying to talk about that game. I'm trying to talk about Ubisoft as a company. So they had a pre-order thing that was talked about so much. So I have it pulled up right now. So the standard one was $70, obviously. Talking about Ubisoft here. And then the gold edition was 110. And then the ultimate edition was 130. Now, if people make the Switch 2 succeed, Ubisoft is gonna follow up on that pricing that Nintendo's doing, and these half-assed games are gonna be pricey as shit. We're gonna see those prices fucking skyrocket. The Ultimate Edition for games are gonna be close to $200, half the price of the Switch, the Switch 2, and that's gonna be insane. I don't think that should happen. I don't think games should be so fucking costly, especially with how gaming was considered a joke back then, and nowadays it's starting to become more of a luxury. With how much, with the potential you have with being a gamer, you could become a content creator.
Who's coming, huh? If you're
Coming right now. Let me see it. Let me see.
You could compete in tournaments.
I think this guy talks a lot, and it's about time for him to learn some respect.
Do this and that. There's so much to it now when it wasn't there before. And because of that, the price of gaming is starting to rise, and that shouldn't be the case. But yeah, anyways, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about, and I hope you guys spread the word, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.